understand. The purpose of the briefing is to give the latest update, of course, with regards to the ongoing situation of disaster relief response, following the torrential rain that led to flooding in some parts of KZN. Without any further delay, I'm going to hand over to the MEC to take us through the update. Over to the MEC.
Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media. Thank you for availing yourself for this media briefing, which is intended to give you the latest in terms of the disaster situation in the province. We would like to bring up to speed on where things are standing today regarding the severe floods that happened in our province, which includes the areas of eThekwini Metro, Ugu, Ilembe, and King Cetshwayo district municipalities. Disasters have inflicted, obviously, enormous damage to the lives of citizens, causing a lot of loss to lives, destruction to property, as well as the infrastructure in the province. As government, we would like to convey our heartfelt condolences to all the families who have lost their loved ones through this unfortunate incident. We also want to sympathize with those who have been injured and hospitalized, and those that whose family members are still in hospital, and those that are still missing. We know the trauma that you are going through, but we are also giving our best to respond to all the situations. eThekwini municipality, as well as the rest of the province, has been an eye of the recent storms, recording the highest death toll. The combined death toll now, which includes Ugu, eThekwini municipality in particular, stands at 67. These are all that have been verified with the SABC as well as the health department, which will be added, which will have one addition once the last recovery has been done, which has just been done during the day. It has indeed been a very sad week for our province, because if you combine the death numbers, which is very unfortunate incidents that happened during the Easter weekend, the church tragedy, the recent storms, it gives you a total number of 85 deaths in the province. If you start in the weekend with the church, including what we have recorded so far. We deeply mourn the loss of our fellow citizens, and we are saying may their souls rest in peace. The President, as well as the Premier, have indicated that we are in the time of mourning, and we can confirm that there are still sites that are active where the rescue services are still working in those sites. One in Chelimnyama, where that vehicle was washed up, as well as one in Mega Village, which is the one in Amlazi, where a person was washed away as well. We also are looking at the reports about the missing person in Silver Glen. It is believed that the person may have drowned from Inanda Dam. These floods have inflicted untold damage on the public and the private infrastructure. And we have sent out the teams to commence with the quantification of the damage. This also includes the visit to the households and all the sites that have been affected. We will further communicate on this once the quantification process has been concluded. We have given the teams a very short turnaround time, because we would like to provide this information to the executive. We have also commenced through the Minister of Social Development and the MEC of Social Development. We have commenced with the social relief interventions such as the food packages, feeding schemes, school uniforms that will allow the children that have been affected to go to school together with the learner support material. We will also continue to offer counseling to the bereaved families. We are finalizing the funeral arrangement support to ensure that decent burials of the departed. The eThekwini Metro has also set up a dedicated support desk in eThekwini Disaster Management Center for all the bereaved families. The desk will also include the hotline, which the details will be provided at the later on. 3 mortuaries, as you would have seen from the notice from the Department of Health. There are 3 dedicated mortuaries so far, which is the Gale Street Mortuary, the Pound Town, as well as the Phoenix mortuaries that have been dedicated for the disaster victims. We have also stationed the staff in the stations for the bereaved families. A task team has also been set up to coordinate all the support, including the burials. The Department of Home Affairs have been activated by the National Minister for issuing of the temporary IDs and the relevant document to all the affected family members. We have also provided temporary shelter to all the other areas. An unprecedented ferocity of the storm has interrupted many lives. However, we have risen to the occasion as part of the efforts to alleviate the impact of these disasters to our communities and to bring the lives of our people back to normality. The Provincial Disaster Management Center officials deployed to conduct physical assessment of the damages and provide relief where required. Other departments, such as the Human Settlement, Department of Transport in the province, Education Department, Health Department, as well as Human Settlement, because other sector departments have also experienced damages to the infrastructure. So this information is being consolidated. The MECs of Education, MEC of Health, we are collating together with the Roads Transport, which is the Department of Transport, MEC Kaunda. We will be presenting the report before the Provincial Executive Committee tomorrow. We have requested for the Premier to convene the Cabinet with a view for us to present the report so that we can be able to process and declarations that needs to happen in line with the Act. Yesterday, the worst affected areas were visited by the President of the country, and the President also ensured that the necessary support is given to all the persons, but we also want to assure the communities and the public that we are doing everything possible to reach those people who might not have been reached. Today, as we talk, MECs, Zikalala and MEC Tusi, are also part of visiting Ugu municipality, continuing with the interventions and the support. Ourselves, we are coming from King Cetshwayo district, where we've just had the mass memorial service for the church victims as well as the road accident victims that happened over the Easter weekend. We do wish, as the provincial government, together with our municipalities, we wish to thank the disaster management teams which include the South African Police Services, the search and rescue teams, the fire departments, the health department, the EMS, the DSD, SASA, and all other sector departments that have been part of the work. SANDF, as well as other law enforcement agencies, have also joined the Joint Operations Center. The national government has also set up the National Joint Operations Center. So we are liaising with the National Joint Operations Center. As you know, that the disasters have been countrywide, which include the Eastern Cape and the Free State, as well as KZN. We have also want to send our gratitude to the NGOs and the individuals for their efforts in extending the emergency assistance, as well as providing support to the distressed. We also want to convey our gratitude to community members, many of them who put their lives at risk to try and rescue those that today we are even talking about people that are in hospital. It is because of those heroic community members who jumped immediately and ensured that people are brought to safety. And we wish to send our appreciation, including to the members of the community that provided food and support to the rescue teams when they were working with the rescue throughout the past 3 days. The members of the public who wish to lend hand for the KZN flood victims can send the donations through the Provincial Disaster Management Center offices, which is at Mkondeni, as well as in Mayville, as well as through the Premier's office, where as well they have sent the information through that Premier's office. We have also set up a special bank account through the Provincial Treasury, as well as the National Treasury, which is an ABSA KZN Disaster Fund account 2019, and with the number of 409-633-4685. We would like to thank the members of the media for all the support that have been given in publicizing the plight of the people, the scale of the disasters, but also for inspiring hope to those people that were affected. We also want to appeal that you continue to work with the communities in terms of conveying the alerts that are going to be sent through the South African Weather Services. As you would know, that another storm is going to be hitting Mozambique. I think it has already started, and that again means another ripple effect to the disasters as a result of this climate change. As you would know that as a country and the province, we are prone to disasters. So we wish that the partnership that we have with all the NGOs, with all the institutions, we all work together to ensure that we minimize the destruction to infrastructure, we minimize the loss of lives, and we do everything possible to be of service to our communities. We are indebted to all the ambulance services and the first line responders, because they are usually the ones who are there in the front line, ensuring that they rescue those who need to be rescued in whichever condition that they are in, and sometimes under very difficult conditions. And we wish to extend our very thanks to all the members of the rescue and the disaster management teams for all the support. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. As I indicated, that we're joined by the Mayor of eThekwini, Zandile Gumede, the city manager. I'm going to allow for questions of clarity. We take the first round, then ask leadership to respond, and then take the final round. I think we already are familiar with the procedure. Can I have an indication of hands? The first, second, third. Okay, let's start with the first three.
Hi, Abiel Singh from News 24. I just wanted to find out, earlier on today we visited the Quarry Road West informal settlement, and they had indicated there wasn't any assistance as yet. I wanted to find out if this is true and when they would be getting assistance in this community.
Next one.
Oren Singh, Sunday Times. I just wanted to know if you have any sort of estimated cost of damage thus far within the province, and also the areas within the eThekwini district municipality, which areas were hit within that district.
Yeah, we can answer this. Oh, okay. Any other head, colleagues? I think then we can get responses from the leadership.
The estimated costs, as I indicated, that we are presently doing assessment. The teams are out doing the assessment. The various sector departments are also submitting reports. I indicated that there has indeed been damage to a lot of infrastructure, which includes the hospitals. However, none of the hospital is not functioning. They continue to function. It was only the Prince Mshiyeni where a boundary wall fell, which was a new boundary wall. Otherwise, it was the issue of flooding, which, as I indicated, some schools as well. The assessment on the roads, infrastructure, all that assessment is presently being done, and we'll only be able to know the cost to the damage once we have costed and processed everything. In the eThekwini, the areas that were mostly affected, the coastal municipality of Umhlathuze.
Thank you. Ma'am?
On the issue of Quarry Road, there's no area that we have not touched. All the areas have been touched either by us or through the councillors of the areas. If I may cite an example, MEC and media of Ward 82 in Umlas. The ward councillor was there. He was even part of the exhumation of the body where it happened. And all the areas are being covered. We are not having any doubts about that.
We have all the questions clarified. Any question of clarity needed? Sir? Any other hand? No. Okay.
My question is directed to the eThekwini municipality. Mayor, there is a view that the infrastructure in the municipality is not being properly serviced in terms of the drainage system. As a result, people are saying that the roads become flooded when it rains. What is your response to this reports?
Fortunately, you also here at eThekwini. What is your view? Because we've been running around with you. The incidents that took place in most of the areas were about the retaining walls that fell in most of the areas, even in the reports. The issue of drainage system, I don't think is a cause of what's happened, but it's nature. That's what happened, and we are witness of that in all the areas.
Okay, thank you very much. Colleagues, if there are no further questions, I'm just going to request, I think for those that...
Sorry, just to add on to that, Mayor, yesterday when we were out on field, there were quite a few people that we spoke to who, they did bring up this issue of the stormwater drains, and that some of them had even said that they reported to the council that they felt that they were not being maintained, and because they were getting so full during this heavy rain, this is what is causing most of the issues. I mean, do you have a response to that? Because I think that's how some people are really feeling at this stage. Do you feel that is not the issue here?
In Ward 64, where I was as the mayor, they said so, and we had to walk to the road because they were saying it seems as if there's a drainage system that is not being maintained. We can even go right now. There was no drainage there, and what happened, there was, what is this page, Nomusa, in English?
There's spring water.
There was spring water where most of the people, even Malawians, pass on in North 64. It was coming out in something like a mountain, and then it washed away everything. And there was no a drain over there because I wanted to see for myself.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to request we summarize in Zulu, and for those that are taking vernacular, let's also respect them and not get too many movements.
Do you want to, well, we can free others to have tea and then send this Zulu.
Okay, maybe, let me see, there's something very much important, the Disaster Operational Center, because we've broken ourselves as ESCO and also in senior leadership of the council administratively, so that for the public to access these numbers, if there's any, I don't know whether that can be useful.
Make a copy. Want to make a copy? What do we do? Also use.
Okay, you can get copies then, that's fine. But
Also
what
these.
we've done, let me see, we've
Okay, would you prefer that you take maybe pictures of the numbers, or you wait for copies?
Read it out, it's fine.
You can read it out, okay.
Okay, one, the Disaster Operational Center of eThekwini now, because MEC is talking about the entire province. Mayor Gumede, the city manager, COO Mr. Musa, DCM Nolthando Makeo, and head Vincent Ngubane are in charge of the Operational Center disaster, because this matter is extraordinary. We felt it is important. We are going to be getting numbers because there are also numbers here. And also we are having a coordination of teams. Team 1 is dealing with catering issues. If in the areas we are faced with such problems, then a response can be quicker. And Team B is dealing with housing, roads, infrastructure. Team C is dealing with the SW and parks. Team D is dealing with the funerals of these families. Then we are having our regional leaders who are dealing with these issues. In the Western region, we are having a senior councillor, Councillor Mondli Mthembu, and you'll get the number, that is dealing with everything in the Western areas. He is working with team of councillors, and also DCM, the deputy city manager who's in charge in the Western area, is DCM Beryl Mpagati. We treat that very much important at the Western areas because that's where most of the issues happen. We'll get the priest and everyone in our mobilizers and everyone who's there. And the second team is on the southern region. Councillor Nelly Nyanisa, who is our chief whip, is the one who's championing the southern, and also Councillor Zamaso Kabase. It is important because each member of the public, should he or she experience any problem, these are the people that can be conducted locally. And the last team, central, that cater for the northern and central. There's Councillor Fosa Pierre and Councillor Barbara Fontaine. And the senior person is Deputy City Manager Sipho Cele. We felt it is important to do so because on top of our operational center that we have within the city at the region, so that if public wants to ask or media wants to ask anything, then it's easier for them. And we do have the numbers and everything. We are going to be furnishing you with a copy, each one of you.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. That brings an end. Those who want one-on-one, I think, in Zulu can come forward. Thank you. Tea is served outside. We need
Go 7 to tighten up everything. Because Neta's going to take us some paid.
One simple.
Oh, today.
Cabinet service,
And,